Let's cross now to Bali to speak to France 24's Asia correspondent Yena Lee. Yena, what are we expecting to come out of this meeting between these two men?
Well, Annette, if you're hoping for a major breakthrough, it's not going to happen. These two superpowers have so much they disagree on. They have two different visions of democracy. They're competitors. They disagree on so many topics: the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, human rights, and of course, trade. So the relationship between Washington and Beijing is at its lowest in decades, perhaps even since the Nixon era. So the whole point of this Monday's meeting is to set the groundwork for a more stable relationship. There aren't big expectations, but the expectation is that we start off with a fresher start. It's about rebuilding trust. It's about avoiding costly miscalculations between these two superpowers. The two sides, Washington and Beijing, are likely to remind each other of their red lines, but they're also looking at where they could cooperate, because there are places and areas where this could happen, because in fact China does have leverage on a number of topics, and it's the kind of leverage that the global community does need right now, whether it's a stronger stance on the war in Ukraine or reining in North Korea's provocative behavior or participating in climate action. So all of this very hard to achieve without Beijing. So don't expect any immediate concrete outcomes from Monday's face-to-face, but do remember that a meeting in itself between Joe Biden and Xi Jinping is a huge effort on both sides, and I'll be listening into Joe Biden's debrief that'll take place at around 9:30 p.m. Local time.
Yena, now the G20 summit is kicking off tomorrow, and what is on the agenda with that gathering?
Well, the war in Ukraine will be the main issue that will dominate talks. We know that President Putin of Russia won't be attending. He sent his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov in his stead. President Zelensky of Ukraine, not usually a member of the G20, was invited to speak virtually. So it does seem that the host country, Indonesia, is really trying to give both sides a voice. The G20 really isn't a place about finding peace deals. It's about the economy. So right now, the most urgent issue at hand is the Black Sea grain deal. A UN and Turkey brokered deal that meant that grain exports from Ukraine could make it out of the country. That deal is set to expire on November 19th. So finding a way to continue that deal is very much at the top of the agenda for world leaders here. It's been a very tricky summit to organise, to say the least, for President Joko Widodo. Some analysts are even calling this the first international summit of the Second Cold War.
Yena Lee reporting there from Bali. Thank you.